Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Wave On. I'm the host, Misty Markham, here in Sylvan Lake, Michigan, owner of Luna Moon Sup Yoga. So don't forget to visit the website, go shop for the retail, the merchandise. It's Luna10 for your code, and I hope you guys enjoy the show. Oh, welcome for another episode of Wave On. And I have another Canada visitor on the line. It's Kerry from Paddle A Board Vacations. And she's going to tell us about her new endeavors of offering awesome tours in Canada, up by Vancouver and Calgary. The pictures are amazing on Instagram, and I really can't wait to hear the stories that she's going to tell and the plans that they have for the upcoming season that's going to get underway here soon. And I'm excited to hear all about it. Kerry, thank you for being on the podcast, being here, sharing. Welcome.
Thank you so much. It's an absolute pleasure to join you as well today.
Yeah.
I think this is the first ever podcast I've ever been on, so bear with me if I go wrong.
Great, yes. Awesome. So, so on Instagram, you got these amazing pictures. I mean, the backdrop is like absolutely gorgeous. The mountains, the water, the views. I'm just like in awe with it. Like, and
yeah.
Yeah, and you have decided to take on a new endeavor coming out of like last year, right? So why don't you start and tell us about your business?
Okay, so paddle aboard vacations. Where do I even begin? I actually come from an event management background. So I've been doing events for the past 14 years or so, ever since I left college, which I'm British, if you haven't have heard that accent.
Yeah.
So yeah, that we leave school like really early compared to Canada and America. So I was out from college by the age of 17 because of where my birthday lands in August. So I just started working on different events, traveled to Canada a couple of times and spent like a long period here. Just fell in love with the Rocky Mountains itself. COVID hit obviously with last year, and if anyone else is within the event industry, you know how hard that has been.
Yep.
There was a lot of layoffs. I think probably 80% of that industry is still out of jobs. So I was just getting very bored with myself and just trying to find things to do and what I was passionate about. The lakes here started to like unfreeze, shall we say, and I love paddleboarding. I've done it a couple of times in the past and just loved it. So I thought, well, now that we can actually get outside and explore, I grabbed a paddleboard and got on the lakes and then started seeing how amazing the lakes are, experiencing different things like with some undercurrents in some lakes, and that kind of scared me a little. So I then started doing some research on some of the lakes that I wanted to go paddleboard on, because so many people don't even realize. You just think, oh, that's a beautiful lake. Look how stunning that is. Let me get my paddleboard out and go do whatever. And you just don't realize the temperatures of the lakes being below freezing, like with the glacier water or the undercurrents that they could have. I just started doing some research and getting out there. I traveled quite a lot last year, so got a car for the first time here in Canada and just packed up my board and off I went. And I drove all the way from here to Vancouver. Just before Vancouver, actually, it was in Chilliwack. I met some friends and I was like, I'm really thinking of this idea, like I'm really thinking this could work, and why not bring people together, give people something to look forward to. I love touring, I love to travel, I love paddleboarding, and I love interacting with different people.
Yeah.
And I just needed something to tie in with my event background that I also love doing. And oh, well, events is dead for the next 10 years. There's not going to be any opportunities to the scale of the events that I was looking after.
Mm.
So I came over to Canada and was working for the Calgary Stampede. So doing the scale of events there, that was even still quite small for me, but I loved it. The experience, seeing people come together and just seeing how happy that place makes people. I wanted to bring that back to people within something that I'm actually very passionate about, which is paddleboarding.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, I just sharing that passion with my friends in Chilliwack, and they got really excited and was like, you know what, this will work. Why don't you like we'll show you some other lakes that are off the beaten track and people don't know about. And I'm like, oh my God, this is awesome. This is insane. And just
Yeah,
coming across the most hidden gems that
totally.
not even the locals really know about
Yeah, wow.
is amazing. It's breathtaking, and I am so excited to be able to include some of those within the tours as well as the iconic ones. And yeah, I've done some really crazy stuff with my paddleboard this year, like last year, shall we say.
Y-
And I'm just very excited to share those opportunities with other people because, like you say, that backdrop is
It
amazing.
is.
And
I thought I was, well, I shouldn't say I was running out of ideas to go somewhere, but I was a couple podcasts back, we were talking about bucket list places to paddle. And
yeah,
I've already done Tahoe and a few times, and I'm on Lake Michigan. So, I mean, that's another big body of water. But wow,
yeah.
those pictures, that's my new bucket list is to go there.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I always say that I honestly, hand on my heart, do not edit any of those photos that go up. I may adjust the lighting ever so slightly, if it's come out too dark on my phone,
Yeah.
but and I have taken some photos from other people and I always make sure that I photo credit them. And
Oh,
I
that's
always
nice.
ask. So
Sure.
that's one thing. If there's something that I'm like, oh, I love that photo, it looks amazing, I'd love to share it. Anytime, I'll always make sure that I photo credit you and ask prior to even doing it because I know some people have taken my photos and then really edited them up and then shared them. And I'm like, it's just there's a reason why I don't edit them. I want to show the pure beauty of the Rocky Mountains and those lakes and the
Right.
color of them. Like you seriously don't
Yeah.
need to change that color.
No, not at
What you
all.
see is what it is.
Not at all. Wow. Where are some of the places that that were like really off the beaten path, maybe more about in your craziest adventures?
So I would say Lightning Lakes is one of my absolute favorites. That is off the beaten track. I won't share exactly where it is because some people obviously do know. And if you're really into paddleboarding and venturing out and finding those lakes, then you will find it. But yeah, it is going to be on the Vancouver to Calgary tour.
Nice.
And I believe we paddleboard it on a sunrise paddle on day two. So
Wow.
it's one of my favorites. It's you've got the mountain backdrop, but surrounded by the forest as well.
Yeah.
So you can come across some wildlife within there as well. So if you're that lucky, you could come across a moose, if not a bear, who
Wow.
knows? But
Wow.
yeah, it's one of the most jaw-dropping locations. And it's got this beautiful bridge that you can paddleboard under. It's just a really photo, I don't know what to say, but you can you can get the most incredible photos there from like really early sunrise to like throughout the whole day.
Like better than a Bob Ross painting.
Yes. I'm saying that I don't even know who that is.
Bob Ross? The happy tree guy?
Yeah,
He
I
just paint a little happy tree here and we paint a little happy tree there. That's what he does. That's what he says.
oh,
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna say yeah, but I'm like, who is this
That's so funny.
guy? I'll have to Google them.
Yes, you have to look that one up. Well, the website is amazing. I took a browse on it and just looking at what you've got up there so far and the packages for the tours and stuff like
Thank you.
that. And yeah, the pictures, of course, on there, amazing. Really selling the experience for sure.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's one thing that I had to learn during COVID to create a website. And obviously the amount of money that I have invested into this already, and I don't have any regrets whatsoever. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, whatever. I put my whole heart and soul into this. And yeah, at the end of
Oh,
the day, that website was something that I put together, and I know there's definitely flaws in it. And even I've come across some things that I'm like, okay, I need to update that. That's missing, or this doesn't seem to be so right. But yeah, if anyone out there has any suggestions and willing to provide some free information, I'd appreciate it.
yeah, for sure.
But by all means, like yeah, it's somewhere to start
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, the list can go on, like on the little changes, like you're saying, or updates. I
Absolutely.
definitely have a similar experience with doing all that stuff on your own.
Yeah, it's endless.
Yeah,
There's always room to improve, and there's always going to be someone out there criticizing what you have done or
yeah, yeah,
whatever. It's all good.
right. Well,
I'm proud of what
definitely,
I've done.
I was going to say, well, it definitely sounds like, yeah, you've got a lot of passion behind it. So I think you'll be just fine.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, what would be your bucket list item on where you would want to paddle?
You okay, so Idaho and Utah have some actually really nice places, but Toho for sure is my number one. I have to get there.
Mm-hmm.
I've done a couple of ice paddles last year well, one was off my own back. I went to Lake Louise in Canada, and so it's on our tour. Everyone knows Lake Louise. If you don't, then where have you been?
Yeah.
um, but no, so it was one of the most incredible experiences. I got in touch with the Chateau Lake Louise, the Fairmont, and just informed them as to what I was thinking of doing. Built a good connection there so that if anything did happen and anything did go wrong, then they were fully aware that I was out on the lake and could rescue or whatever.
Okay.
So, because the lake was actually freezing over. So the first half was freezing and the back half was still open, but there was bits that were kind of starting to freeze together and you had to just be extra careful. It was probably the most crazy, dangerous things I've ever done.
Wow.
Um, but it was the best experience just being out on that lake on your own. And all you could hear was people walking around the side, looking out, going, "Oh my God, she's crazy. What is she doing?" And I'm like, you don't realize that you're probably just whispering that, but the echo of your conversation, because it's
Oh,
in between two mountains, it just like the sound just rocks from one side to the next and you can hear everything and I'm just paddling
wow.
along like this is amazing, great conversation guys, thanks. But yes,
Wow.
after doing that and seeing there's a glacier paddle that you can do. I believe it's in like Vancouver heading up to Alaska sort of area, and you can get a helicopter to the top of this mountain,
Wow.
and it's only open during a certain time where the glacier water starts to melt, only in this little section. It's like a little river. That's probably my number one bucket list paddleboard that I really want to do.
Wow.
It looks incredible. I can't remember what it's called, but
Yeah.
it's definitely here in Canada as well.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like it's not far from you. It's in the area, right? Like,
Yeah, for sure. It's quite costly from what I
oh,
was told because of the health and safety behind that of getting a helicopter there and
sure. Yeah.
things.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it's quite costly, but definitely on the bucket list and will happen hopefully in the near future.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, that's the thing is that it's cold here, but it's a lot colder there.
Yeah, it was well, we've had actually really amazing weather right now. Like it was plus 18 a couple of days ago. And then yesterday it was 5, I think, or minus got down to -1, -2.
Hmm.
But a couple of weeks back, yeah, it was freezing. It was down to -38.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah,
but depending on where you are in Canada, the Northwest Territories, I think, hit -52 at one stage.
right. Yeah, and
Yeah.
the lake just unthawed here, which tells me that
Right.
it was super thick. We had a pretty good winter. But we've had some good dry days over the past week or so, and then
That's
a lot of
awesome.
wind that just blew the lake and then the ice and everything, and it now it's all open. But I have definitely had those types of in the background too. I can't hear them probably like you could echoing off the mountain and everything. But yeah, I one time someone yelled out at me like that I was crazy and I should probably get back in. And he probably just thought I was someone that just maybe didn't know what they were doing, and and it was like the lake probably just had done unthawed, but we had gotten a lot of sun, so it was like actually warm to be on, and the water was just still freezing though. And so he thought I was
Yeah.
a little nuts and yelled out at me and stuff, and I was like, yeah, okay, thanks.
That's the thing, people love to judge. Everyone loves to judge. Like it's very much, let's get your facts straight first. Yes, okay, if I was somebody that had no idea what I was doing,
Exactly.
I wouldn't have gone out there.
Right.
Like I made sure all the safety measures were put in place just in case something went wrong. But I'm like, my balance is really good. I'm gonna stand up and I'm going to paddleboard this lake. And I don't care what anyone says.
How did you wind up in Canada?
So my uncle is a Canadian citizen, has been for way over 20 years, I do believe. He actually lives down in Victoria now, and but many years ago, I think I was 10 when I first came to Canada and just visited him, stayed for 3 weeks, traveled around the Rocky Mountains with him and with the rest of my family. And then 11 years ago, roughly, I came back and stayed in Canada for 6 months, just in this, like the Rocky Mountains as well, and traveled around and just fell in love and was like, this is definitely home. But I knew for me to come back here, I needed to get my career where I wanted it to be. And there were so many events that I wanted to work on back in London, and I ticked off every single one that I said I wanted to work on. So I was like, right, now's the time. Like, I'm not waiting any longer. I
Hmm.
traveled Australia, traveled Thailand, and like other little areas over that side because I knew it was going to be a little bit more expensive to come from Canada. So I did my traveling as to what I wanted to do, done a lot of Europe. And I was like, that's it. Now's my time. I need to go find myself in Canada and just settle down. So I have been here 2 years coming up in May. So I'm just in the process of getting my permanent residency right now as well.
Oh, okay. Nice.
But
Very
yeah, I absolutely love it. As soon as you like once you've been, it's one of those moments where you're just so blown away by the scenery that well, for me anyway, I just can't get enough of it.
I
So
don't think I could. I mean, I would probably be the same. I mean, those pictures are amazing, and you don't get you don't get to see that like everywhere, that you go to paddle. So, you know, our like the little lake I'm on is nice. It's definitely beautiful, but we don't have the mountains like that.
yeah. It's funny though, because I see photos from back home in the UK and especially down in Devon and Dorset around that sort of coastline, the Jurassic Coast. Absolutely stunning. And I have always said to people, you have to go and explore the UK, which I did that prior to coming here. There was so much that I hadn't seen, and even Scotland is absolutely phenomenal. Like they've got some amazing areas there. And I'm like commenting on some of people's photos, like with love hearts and oh my God, that's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm getting jealous of those photos. And then I'm thinking, actually, no, they're jealous of where I'm at right now. Why am I jealous of that?
Oh my gosh, that's funny. When you have a tour come through, how many people do you usually take out?
So usually it's based on 12 people plus the tour guide and the driver in the minivan. Due to COVID, we have had to restrict that down. So it is going to be a maximum of eight, plus the tour guide and the driver. So it gives us that flexibility for any restaurant bookings as well. So you'll be set over two tables if that is something that I'm arranging. So there's a couple of nights where we've got dinners together. One is actually at a campsite. I say a campsite. It's a glamping sort of, oh, I can't even explain it. It's just amazing little find that I've come across. And the owners have put so much work into this. Like they've built this whole area in one of the woodlands just after Golden in BC. And he's put so much work in. There's a hot tub. He's
Nice.
built his own fire pit, like pizza pit, like pizza oven thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just phenomenal. So there's like that where you will have dinner together, but you can place yourself wherever.
Yeah.
So that's just phenomenal.
Perfect.
I'm so excited for that one. And then, that's Camp Moose Trail, if anyone hasn't already
Hmm.
checked them out, but they are on Instagram and they are taking bookings now as well. Um, and then there's like, yeah, a couple of other nights. So our first night, I've arranged dinner for all of us as a group. We will be set over two tables. But then other nights, there's that free time where you can go and explore the towns and go find a restaurant or bar or whatever it is that you want to eat at.
Mm.
So
Okay.
it's just giving that flexibility. I don't want to be trapping people in
Sure.
having to stay within the group. Like I want this to be your free time, like you enjoy it. It's gotta be a trip of a lifetime that you turn around and say, oh my God, you know what? Every single part of it, there was something good to take from it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and if there is any negative, I'm so open to listening as well. Like at the end of the day, this is the first year I need to, like, I've done some market research and sent out that questionnaire at the beginning part of me planning this whole entire thing. And I've tried to accommodate to everybody as best as possible.
Sure.
So, yeah, it was very much people wanted camping, other people didn't. But with this, it's like the tent's already made up. You've got queen size mattresses that you're sleeping on. You're not sleeping on the floor.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's kind of ticking off everyone's kind of box along
Yeah.
the way.
You're really putting your event planning skills to hand here with but that sounds so
Oh,
fun for you, you know, to take your background and make this your own, you know, your own thing, and yeah, including people and connecting with what we've been placed with, COVID and all of that.
yeah.
So, wow, it sounds like you really are, you know, putting a lot into it, and you know, really giving it a go. So it sounds like you're very passionate about it.
Yeah, I certainly am. And it's certainly killed time during COVID, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But it's given me a purpose. It's like
Yeah.
I just I love events, and to me, not having that just feels like there's a part of me missing. Whereas with this, I feel that I've got a purpose.
Right. Yeah, and using
And
even the winter time to plan and like focus on it, and yeah, it almost makes it seem like there isn't an off season really, even though there
yeah,
is, it's just different.
for sure. Because during that summer period, I'm going to be touring with people.
Yeah, you'll be
So
busy,
yeah,
super busy.
very busy for
Yeah.
sure.
Wow, super cool. Do you have like any like unique little things that you have as part of the tour or just part of the experience in general?
Yeah, there are some other things that
Is it a
I'm still
surprise?
working on. Um,
Maybe it's a surprise.
I'm definitely, yeah, I'm not, there's, so I've decided that I'm going to give I'm not going to say what's in it, but I'm going to give a little goodie bag type thing at the end of every single tour. And I think it's just a kind of a little keepsake to remind them of the experience that they had here. And I'm basically tying up with a couple of like local businesses that are very small and have struggled a little bit during COVID as well.
Hmm.
So I've tied in with them to just do little things.
Cool.
So there will be one big prize gift, shall I say,
Yeah.
um, that I'm definitely working on. I'm very, very excited about. But yeah, I'm not gonna share exactly what it is, because my thoughts keep changing. Apart from this big one is a definite, but all the other little things that I'm thinking of, just depends on the budget
Sure. Very
for what
cool.
I work with.
No,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Leave us hanging.
Yeah.
No, that's great. That's so cool. I love it. It sounds like such a great time. It's giving me another reason to want to go to Canada. I don't know. I
Absolutely.
don't know when that will happen, but we'll keep it on the bucket list.
For sure. That's the thing. Like everyone was saying to me end of last year, especially people from the UK, like prior to this whole new lockdown situation that happened, they're like, yeah, we can't wait. It's on our bucket list for next year. We're definitely gonna book. And I totally get it. Like I've said to people, hey, like, why don't you just totally hold off for 2021? Any internationals this is. Like, I think for 2021, it's going to be for Canadians because they can easily travel.
Right.
I say easily, but a lot easier than others because they're here in the country. So there's no restrictions in terms of that 14-day isolating in a hotel and things like that. So I think for 2021, it's probably going to be Canadian based, which totally open with. There's so many Canadians from the east, the west,
Sure.
even here in Alberta, that really want to explore that they haven't already done so. So yeah, I'm excited to just gear it up for everyone. But for sure, 2022, I think is going to be the bigger year
Yeah.
with internationals coming as well.
Yeah,
So
definitely. I don't know what the status is right now with the border for us to come. I'm not, to drive over. I have no idea right now. I think it keeps
I
changing.
don't know. Yeah, I don't know whether that's still restricted and still closed down because I think the whole Canadian border is shut until God knows when. But I'm guessing, hand on my heart, I see it being March the 1st of 2022.
Really?
That border will open. Yeah.
Wow.
Personally, I can just see them keeping it totally locked down for the rest of this year, unless every single person in America and throughout the world gets that vaccination, which, yeah, even that I don't know about.
Sure. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So it's still a lot of unknowns, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. That's pretty much what I think too. It's like a lot of unknowns. Like we know a little bit, but it's sort of like just a grain of salt at this point.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's frustrating in some regards, but I'm like, you know what? If I can get as many Canadians out this way and show them how amazing it is and yeah, and just give them something to look forward to. Like
Hmm.
if we can't even travel and go anywhere without having to isolate for 14 days when we come back, it's it's crazy. Like who can afford 14 days in a hotel on your own back? Like that's just mental, absolutely mental. So
Yeah.
if I can provide something that people want to look forward to, then that makes me happy.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds like such a fun experience to be able to do, and everything that you've put together. It sounds awesome.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Hopefully it will.
Well, yeah, I'll be looking forward to seeing the posts and stuff for this season.
Yeah, for sure. There'll be tons of stuff going out.
Yeah. Cool. Well, how many boards do you have total? I mean, I guess that kind of goes back to maybe the question of like how many people you have come out, but
So I've actually got 11 boards in total. So they're a mixture of pop and vault. If anyone has heard of those companies, they are American branded boards. And in my opinion, the best touring boards that will be perfect for any ability. So there's a mixture of 10-foot six boards and 11-foot boards. But every single one is perfect for any ability. So if you've never done it before and your friends are doing it and you still feel like, you know what, I really want to come and I've never done it, so let's have a laugh with it. Absolutely. Come get on board. Like I'm there to help you, like give you the basic instructions as well, and hopefully in the years to come I'll actually have other tour guides that will be qualified as instructors as well that will be able to
yeah.
take people out and do that as well. But yeah, I've decided that every single year I will be selling the boards at the end of the season. People can put their name against it at the beginning part of the season if they wish, or they can purchase the same board brand new via myself,
Hmm.
and get a bigger discount. So I want to make sure that the boards are brand new every single year and
Oh.
that they always get the best quality. So they'll always have the new season boards
Oh, that's
in.
awesome.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that's great. Very cool. Um, so if you have somebody that's brand new
Yep.
and they want to try, but they're not sure, what's like your selling point, or what is it that you have to say that they're like, okay, fine, I'll go.
That is a very good question. Well, my selling point would be anyone can paddleboard. And especially on these boards, the stability and balance that you can get is anyone can get on it. Like the start of last season, one of my friends that you probably see in some of my posts, she had never paddleboarded before. And she went and bought a paddleboard after trying mine and was like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. Yeah, we both fell in a couple of times at the start of the season, finding our balance, but we then I upgraded my board to a pop, from an Astron, and just the stability, everything with it is superb. Like I can't fault it in the slightest. And guess what? You don't have to stand up on a paddleboard. If
This
you
is
can
true.
kayak, or you can just kneel for a little bit and like just use your arms. That's literally it. Like there's nothing in it that no one can do.
Right.
Everyone can paddleboard in
Yep.
my eyes.
No, I agree. I say pretty much the same thing, even if they still think I'm crazy.
Yeah.
Uh, but it is very much a mental thing. It kind of, if that gets, trapped in your mind about like that I can't do it, or if it's a fear or something, it's very much mental. But just like you said, you can stop, you can sit, you could just
Yeah,
float, and
absolutely.
yeah, and like I, like Tahoe, when we went and we had our inflatables, and it's pretty much the same. They're very stable for beginners and just hanging out on. And actually they sit so much higher off of the water surface that
Yeah.
we were having lunch just on the board. Like we had
Yeah.
paddled to a certain point and there was really nowhere to get off, but it was like an amazing view. Like, and there was a couple mansions and stuff that we were looking at. And we just decided to stop and have like, I mean, it's a light lunch, you know, just pretty much some energy bars and water or whatever.
Yeah.
But, you know, you just put your feet in the water and just, you kind of hang out and soak up the sun. And, you know, the water's a little chilly. And, but, you know, you're in Tahoe, you've got the elevation. So you've got the sun on you. So if you're staying in the sun, you're warm.
Yeah.
But it's similar to kind of what you're talking about. Like, you have to be careful with water types like that are deep and they're cold, you know, and it's a big shock to the system, you know. I mean, I've heard stories about out there as well, you know, not in paddleboarding, because they rent boats and stuff too.
Yeah.
So, that's nice that you are offering it more of a safer experience where like they're sort of supervised, you know, in a way and guided and not just here's a board, bye.
Yeah, off you go. Good luck.
See ya.
No, it's something that is part of the package. Like it's a whole experience, and I don't want to restrict it to people having the knowledge and having the experience of a paddleboard. Like if you've had zero experience, good on you. Get on board still. Come along. Like
Right.
I want this to be open for everybody. Now, I have said that it's 18 plus. And the only reason why I've said that is because there's an option to go on a wine tour. And I don't want for a 16-year-old, for example, to come along and then be like, I really want to go. And, well, sorry, you're underage. And then also have that responsibility of a minor, technically, to have an adult supervision.
Yeah.
So then that's the only reason behind it.
I
But,
see.
and with BC, you actually have to be 19 to drink.
Oh, really?
Whereas Alberta, you have to be 18. But I think from what I'm seeing in terms of age range, most people are 25 plus.
Mm-hmm.
From what I'm seeing on the like statistics of who's looking at the website, the statistics of my Instagram, I think there's only 1% that is under the age of 18.
Got
So,
it. Yeah.
but save up, guys, and then you can come later on in the
Yeah,
year.
right. Yeah, exactly. Something, yeah, goals.
Absolutely.
How long are some of the paddles?
One is 4 hours, but there is an option. If you don't want to paddle for that long, you can go for lunch, or you can even hike up and look at the lake from above.
Okay.
So, on average, they're 2 hours per lake. And I think from what I was getting through my survey, there was a lot of people that opted more for the 1 to 2 hour kind of option, or up to 3 hours, I think it said. And then I asked if you'd want a half day, a full day, things like that. And quite a lot of people asked for a full day as well. So again, like when we hit Kelowna, the Okanagan is so big that is where you'll have a full day to paddleboard. But where the hotel is also located is literally opposite the lake. So if you decide, you know what, I'm going to paddleboard for a couple of hours, then I'm going to take my board back, go for lunch, and then I'll paddleboard again in the afternoon. Or there's the option to add the wine tour on for the afternoon.
Okay.
So I'm providing options to make sure that people don't get bored, but also have that opportunity to be like, actually, yeah, you know what? I'm not going to go on that wine tour because I want to paddleboard this the whole day. Whereas those that don't want a full day, then they don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
You're paddleboarding every single day, even up until that very last day. We're going on one lake prior to me dropping you off, either in Vancouver or Calgary. So you're getting, I think there's 11 or 12 lakes in 6 days that
Wow.
you're paddleboarding on. So yeah,
Wow. Yeah, you
there's
see
a
a
lot.
lot. Yeah, you'll see a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
That's
So there's a lot
amazing.
to cover. But the grand scheme of things, like you can drive from Calgary to Vancouver in one day. It's a
Mm-hmm.
10.5 hour drive. So to break that down over
Oh.
6 nights and 6.5 days, say,
Yeah.
you can fit so much in.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's a quite a bit I didn't realize there was that much distance from Calgary to Vancouver.
yeah,
Wow.
you look at a map and you think, oh yeah, that's not that far.
That's exactly what I did. I didn't
There we go,
investigate.
Mickey.
I just took a look. The closest I was to Vancouver, I stayed with a friend in Portland and we drove up through into Washington just a little bit and kind of got a glimpse of, everything up there. A
Yeah,
little different view even from Portland. And yeah, it started to look pretty amazing. I was like, wow, we were
yeah.
just driving through and I can remember also the rain broke from Portland up there. And then as soon as we turned around, the sun was there in Washington, and then it wasn't anymore.
Right.
Back through Portland. But
Yeah, for sure. My uncle says to me, it was funny because we had like the -38 weather and this huge snowstorm hit Calgary, and so I'm sharing photos of him, and he's like, "Yeah, we don't get that in Victoria." And then 2 days later, he sends me this snowstorm that's happened in Victoria. He's like, "We're not used to this." I'm
we're
like,
not used to this.
okay. I'm like, "Well, suck it up."
Oh wow, that's funny. How far is Victoria to Calgary?
I think it's roughly it's 14 hours roughly
Wow.
drive. Yeah, because yeah, I think so. I've never been down to Victoria yet. So because of COVID last year, we kept our distance, and I was doing a lot of road trips on my own last year just to obviously stay restricted. And then it was just me and my friend Abby that would head out on some of the lakes as best as we could. But yeah, we kept it very small. So
Yeah.
my uncle was still working and in and out of the city. So we just wanted to make sure that we were totally safe and not spreading it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But hopefully I get to see him at some point this year and we can travel. Either he comes here or I go to there. But yeah.
Right. Yeah. What about the rest of your family and
They're actually back in the UK still.
yeah.
So my mom, my dad, my two brothers, I've got two nieces as well. So I was very lucky to be home with them February of last year,
Mm.
which my niece was just born, I think 2 weeks prior to me landing home. So my first and only time of seeing her was February of last year, and just seeing photos and seeing them on FaceTime just is crazy how much she's grown, and she's now walking, and
Wow.
yeah, it's insane. But yeah, I love my nieces to bits. They're the one thing that I definitely do miss, and obviously my parents and my brothers I miss
Yeah, I bet.
very much. But yeah, it's been a tough ride, but also a good ride. So
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
looking forward to those hugs again one day soon.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. That's quite a bit of distance too in
Yeah, it's
between.
not around the corner.
No. Not at all. Yeah.
I hear how they like so Sunday just gone was shall I say Mother's Day back home in the UK.
Mm.
And I've got my dad texting me saying, "Don't forget it's Mother's Day on Sunday." I'm like, thanks for the reminder. So, and I just text like, yeah, I've got it all sorted. Don't worry. I'm like,
Uh,
oh yeah, Mother's Day. Why
oh,
is it different here to the UK? Why can't you be the same?
yeah. Why is that?
I don't know, but Father's Day is the same, so that's what baffles me.
Oh, wow.
Like, right?
Yeah, that is weird.
Like, don't do this to me.
No wonder he's sending you the reminder.
Right?
Oh my gosh, wow. That's crazy.
But yeah, just hearing them like walk around the corner and see my brothers, I'm like, yeah, I miss that.
Yeah, right. Wow.
Uh,
Well, hopefully one day.
Absolutely. One day will come.
Yeah, right. Very
Sure.
cool. Well, let's see. I'm at like 45 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I don't know if you have maybe another inspirational message in there.
I think everyone, like, especially during now, everyone's just got to really stay hopeful and just stay positive. I think there's a lot of negative energy in the world, and we all need to just stick together because you never know what's going on behind closed doors. There's a
Right.
lot of stuff that I put on Instagram for the business. And I'll be totally honest, there's days where I'm like, I don't want to be on social media today.
Yeah.
You know what? It's totally fine, guys. It's fine. Everyone needs that space and everyone needs that time. Like, as much as COVID is happening, we've got to live with it.
Yeah.
So stay strong, stay positive, get planning, whether it be 2021 or it be in the near future. I'm not going anywhere, and I'm planning on building this paddle aboard vacations to be a full-time business for myself, and hopefully I'll be able to bring other people on, being tour guides, instructors.
Yeah.
I'm willing to make this big and make it better.
Yeah.
So
I think
yeah,
you're onto something. Well, how
yeah.
did you come up with the name Paddle A? Is the A like kind of the Canadian A?
Oh my God, I didn't even think of it like that.
Really?
So I was actually having, it's kind of a bit of a pun in a way, play on words, shall we say.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
I was speaking with my friend Kelsey in Chilliwack, and I was like, I think it was paddleboard vacations to begin with. Or no, it wasn't. Take it back. It was SUP vacations.
Okay.
And I said to my friend Kelsey, if I say to you SUP vacations, what does that mean to you? And she said, what does SUP mean?
Mhm.
I was like, okay. I was like, it means stand up paddle. And she went, oh, okay. Oh, paddleboard. Oh my God. And then
Yeah.
I was like, okay. I was like, now what do you think of paddle aboard? And she was like, oh my God, I love it. I was like, well,
Yeah.
I was kind of thinking you're gonna come and you're gonna paddle abroad.
Mhm.
So that's all right. But I did obviously I needed the board in there. And so I was like, oh, it's kind of a bit of a play on words situation.
Yeah.
She's like, I love it, I love it. And straight away I changed the Instagram account and had like another 50 odd followers, like straight away in the next couple of days. I was like, what the hell? This is blowing up and I don't even know what I'm doing.
Nice. I love it. That's great. That's so
But yeah,
cool.
so I didn't even think of the A from Canada, but
Well, I that was the first thing I thought, and then I was like, well, like you said, then, like abroad, abort, and
yeah,
but yeah, the SUP is always a tough one.
it is. But I think it's definitely worldwide known now. When
Yeah,
people say suck, they're like, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about now.
yeah.
But I think being September of last year, people were still, what is that? What are you talking about? I'm like,
It
how do you not
happens.
know this? Where does it come from? Europe? Where's this come from?
It's just a funny thing around the sport.
Right? We love to
Oh,
abbreviate everything.
yeah, exactly. That's what it is. And but then everyone's like, "Sup?"
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, I loved having you on. I loved hearing the story, and thanks for coming on. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you so much for giving me that time. And yeah, I hope everyone loves it and
Mhm.
gets involved one day soon.
Yeah, for sure. It sounds good to me.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
So much fun with the podcast. I'm doing the recording. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you, Kerry, for sharing all the stories with paddleboard vacations. And I'll be putting the Instagram and website link in the comments so you guys can go check out those amazing photos. And stay tuned. We have more guests coming down the pipeline, outdoor enthusiasts coming up, and I hope you guys are really enjoying. Thanks again.